let's have a look at question 4. So this is another vector question. Let's have a look. So a particle P is moving on a smooth horizontal plane, and then the particle has a constant acceleration. So it's constant acceleration. So this is something to do with SUVAT. So we know A is equal to 2.4 and then 1. At time t equal to 0, P passes through point A. So A is our starting point. And time t equal to 5, P passes through point B. And then the velocity of P as it passes through A is -6 and I minus 3j meter per second. And then part A is asked us to find the speed of P as it passes through B. So clearly we need to let the point A to be our starting point and then point B to be our end point. So that means it will take 5 seconds from A to B, so t is equal to 5. And then the velocity at point A is -16 I minus 3j. So that means u is equal to -6 and -3, because that's our starting point. And then what we're looking for, the velocity at point B is our final velocity. So clearly it's just v equal to u plus at. So u is -16, -3, and then a is 2.41, and then t is equal to 5. So put that in the calculator, -16 plus 2.4 times 5, that would be -4. And then -3 plus 1.5, which is just 2. And then be careful, we're looking for the speed, not just the velocity. So speed is the magnitude of the velocity. So we can just do Pythagoras. So square root of -4 squared plus 2 squared. So put that in a calculator. That is equal to 2√5 meter per second. Okay. And then let's have a look at question B. It says the position vector of A is 44I minus 10j meter. And at time t equal to capital T seconds, where capital T is more than 5, P passes through the point C. And then the position vector of C is 4I plus cj meter. And then we want to find the value of T. So it's something to do with the position vector, okay? So what we know is we should let point A to be our starting point. And they tell us the position vector of C is 4I plus 3j, and at time t equal to capital T seconds, it passes through point C. And then we want to find out the capital C. So we have to let C to be the end point. So again, is constant acceleration, so A is 2.41. And then time is capital T seconds. That's what we try to find. And then if we let point A to be our starting point, that means the initial velocity u is -6 and -3. And this time we know the position vector. So the initial position, let's call it R0, is 44 minus 10. So if we know the final position, which is 4 and then C, so final position is equal to the initial position plus the displacement. So 4C is equal to initial position is 44, -10. And then for the displacement, because we know u, we know a, we know t, it has to be ut plus half at squared. So u is -6 and -3, and then t is just capital T, and then plus half a, and then t squared. So that's how we set them up. Yeah. Final position is equal to the initial position plus the displacement. We know the final position 4C, and we know the initial position 44 and -10. So all we have to do just use our initial position plus the displacement vector, and that will give us the final position. So now we have an equation, we just have to solve this one to work out the final answer. So simplify this, we have 4C is equal to, so 44 -10, and then plus -610t, and then -3t, and then plus, so half times 2.4 is 1.2 times by t squared, just 1.2t squared. Half times 1 is 0.5, and then times by t squared. So put them together, so 4 has to be equal to 44 minus 610t plus 1.2t squared. And then c has to be equal to -10 minus 3t plus 0.5 t squared. So rearrange this, we have 1.2 t squared minus 16t, and a minus 4 for both sides. 44 minus 4 is 40 equal to 0. So put that in the calculator, we will have, so 1.2, -16, 40, so t is either 10 or 10 over 3. And because the question tells us t has to be greater than 5, so ignore this. So 10 is our only solution. And then to work out c, we just put into the equation. So -10 minus 3 times by 10 plus 0.5 times by 10 squared. So put that in the calculator. We have -10 minus 3 times 10, which is 30, plus 0.5 times by 10 squared. So that will also be 10. So the answer for part B is just t equal to 10. The answer for part C, C is also equal to 10. And that will be the final answer for this question.
Thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, you can leave some comment. And then if you find the video helpful, please like it and subscribe it. May the A star be with you.